Okay, so for the sake of the recording, today is Tuesday, the 19th of May, and great to see everybody present and appreciate your time. I've put a number of things that require some decision making because they're coming up soon, and those are the things we'll focus on. There's some other things if we have time we'll go to, but I'm going to try to keep us on the straight and narrow path to attend to the things that really need our attention in the short term. I'm going to share my screen so we can be looking at the same stuff as we walk through. Can somebody verify if you can see my screen?
I can.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Mhm.
So getting ourselves started, I'm going to skip our mission.
No
We'll
place
go,
to
we'll do our usual check of the minutes, make sure there are no questions or changes for those that we passed out a while back. I want to focus on what our needs are for the upcoming first program of the summer, which is this coming Saturday. Can't believe we're at the end of May already. Our barn dance is coming up. A question of an opportunity that came up about the parade and whether we want to do that or not. And then excuse me, I've been going through some junk, so I apologize for coughing in your ear. The July 8th event we've been doing emails about, and then if we have time, we'll go into our other items here as time allows. So just to get started, did anyone have anything they wish to have addressed about the minutes before we go through this process? Was there any changes or concerns? Okay. Not having heard any, is there someone who would make a motion to approve those?
I so move.
think we can fit in there.
I second.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, great. We got plenty. Thank you.
Pick up the fan up there.
All in favor of accepting the minutes as recorded? Say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we've done our duty there. So this Saturday, thanks to Sam for connecting with Aaron, we have Aaron Reed coming to talk about some of the changes with the park and some activities they've had going on in general as well. But I know most people are excited to hear where do we stand in terms of the expansion, the construction work, et cetera, else. And Sanford, you were with the park group just the other day. Do you want to share any highlights from your perspective on what they were doing?
Yeah, I met over with some members of the park, and there was supposed to be someone from the national headquarters, but she was ill. So Aaron did that, and which is I think going to be pretty close to what he's going to do this Saturday. So all of the big posters are going to be there, so we can see all the images of all the buildings, and. Uh, I asked him if it would be possible for us to see actually a map. I'm curious about where the placements are and the roads through there and how they connect up to Stone Door and everything. And he said he was going to be able to do that. So I think it's going to be a very informative meeting, and he did a great job. And so that's pretty much it.
Fantastic. Good. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we've gotten some good press. I was able to get it in both the Grundy County Herald and the Sewanee Messenger. And I think it was last week's edition that went in. And if you've seen the posters, you know I took the nudge that some of you made about doing something bigger. Um, and it looks like what you see on the screen here. It's basically double the size of 11 by 17, officially 12 by 20. And so I had to have those done because I can't produce those in-house. So I did have those done through a vendor that I work with. I think they came out well. I'm not sure if this helps for people to see them more. The challenge is the places we post these, there's very little space typically except for the market, they put it right on the front door, which is great. But all the other places have small spaces. So going forward, I'm not sure if we can keep this up or not, just because it's a little tricky. Uh, and of course, there's a cost related to it versus what I just do here on my own. So we can evaluate that. If you haven't seen the poster, check it out in post office, the market, museum, etc., all those typical places. I did put in a few Altamont spots as well. Um, so That said, what I'd like to do is walk through these things that we've got some need for assistance and see who's going to be here and who is willing to do what pieces. So, of course, we need to have the reception stuff set up. We agreed this time we put the tables in the back of the room at the community center, so it's right there where we're going to be meeting. And then the other thing that'll be back there is a table where we're going to have some of our books and things for sale. That's one of the other things that we had talked about trying to help revenue for one thing, but also make those more visible to people if they don't go to the museum or the market, etc. And so then also because it's community center, we have to do our own setup and takedown. So the chairs have to be put out, table set up, and then I've got the projector and the screen, and it takes a little help there. And then if someone's willing to take photos, one of the things we have more need of now, and we're going to have more need of when we have our website, is to have more photos of what happens when we get together. What are the actual gatherings? And the thing I forget about, and I don't know if you all notice it or not, but when we do emails, people are more interested if they see people. It's like who was there and who did what. I've already gotten numerous comments about when I put the picture of Teresa and I doing the marker work. And it's like it's people, right? And you recognize somebody or you see something happening is a little more interesting than just a static object. So if somebody's willing to do some photos, just iPhone photos or whatever, fine. So let me just ask, of those of you that are going to be here Saturday, who can help with what pieces, or I can give more information about what's needed. Uh, for the
What,
reception, we need food, and then we need the setup as well.
what are we gonna do on food on the 23rd? What's the plan? What you gonna do for that?
I haven't made a plan.
Should we do-
Sanford's offered to bring some cookies, and if we don't get some other contributions, I can just go to the grocery store and pick up a bunch of stuff. But I haven't made a plan for food.
David come back tomorrow from Atlanta, I'm sure, and he's going to Costco. I can ask him to bring some cookies in Costco if you want to do that.
And I'm not hearing you very well,
Bring some
Sylvia. I think you
cookies.
said something about going to Costco. Is that right?
Yeah, he's in Atlanta. He's come back tomorrow. He could pick up some Costco cookies, like a mixed plate if you want that.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
some fruits, some grapes.
I don't think it has to get real involved, but just easy things for people to pick up while they're chatting and hang around a bit.
Or
Yeah.
even some like carrots and whatever vegetable tray or something like that.
Yeah,
If
that's
that's
good too.
something we
Yeah.
want.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. If he can do that, that would cover
I'll
us.
ask him, I coordinated with him, so I get a vegetable tray. See if he can do I see if there's some fruits too. And then some cookies, a mixed plate of cookies. That work?
That's super. So thank you, Sylvia. Perfect.
Okay,
And-
so,
Go ahead.
okay, and then I don't need to bring cookies then,
Well, I
right?
think it would be good still to have what you have.
I mean, Sylvia, you're bringing all of that, so I mean, I'm happy to bring cookies. And what are we gonna have to drink?
Well,
If
would you, could,
Okay.
sorry, Sylvia, go ahead. What?
But if you have home-baked cookies, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're making cookies, that's different.
No, I'm not making them. I was
Oh, you're
just
not
gonna buy them.
Um,
How
So-
many people do they expect?
no idea. I'd say 40 to 50, probably
Yeah, I
max.
think
How many
we
cookies
might
do you
have
think?
more than we sometimes have at Grace Chapel, and sometimes at Grace Chapel we have quite a few, but I
Yeah.
think we could have probably 40 or more. So if Sylvia, then we'll need like cups, and I know in the past we've had like lemonade and tea.
So I've got plenty of the stuff in terms of napkins and cups and all, because we've had a stash that we've
Okay.
been working from, so we don't need to worry about that, but the actual food. And could you bring beverages instead?
Yeah, I could do
Sanford?
that.
Okay.
Okay, if Sylvia brings the food, then I'll bring the beverages, and you've got cups. Okay.
Okay. That's perfect. Perfect.
I can help
You're
set
gonna
up.
bring jugs, but you're gonna bring jugs like of tea and lemonade.
Yes.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bring some jugs. Right.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
I can help to set up.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. I don't think it'll take us too long. The chairs take the longest because it's one at a time kind of thing. The tables go really quick.
Yeah, I can help with setup too, because I'll get there early with food. And
Okay,
drink.
I'm there too. I mean.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
well,
good.
yes.
perfect.
Andrew, I'm not going to be there this weekend because our son's graduating, but a quick question for you. In the newsletter, the email newsletter that went out, I thought that the location for this event was not in that email. If you've still got it, will you
Seriously?
double check? Um,
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh
okay, you
no.
noticed
Oh,
that
But there
too.
was another one, but there was another message that said that was at the community center. I picked it up from another message.
oh,
Was that Instagram that said, anyway, my
No,
point being we might
it
want to send a
wasn't.
second email. Just it can be a
yeah.
reminder and then it can make sure that people don't go to Grace Chapel. They know to go to community center.
Thank you very much for that. I can't believe I missed that. I was preparing that kind of quickly yesterday, which is not a smart thing to do. Um, I'm looking at it now. Oh, yeah, doesn't say where it is.
Mhm. It's
Well, I
okay.
was going to send
It's
another
all
one
right.
in the next couple days anyhow, so I'll make that
There you go.
just about Saturday. Thank you very much for mentioning that.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord.
Good
And I,
catch.
I won't be up there either,
Okay.
Andrew, this coming weekend. I'm not getting back till Friday. So, so I'll have a fairly busy catch-up weekend and I'll be back up there the following weekend.
Okay. Okay. Aaron, are you around?
I won't be around for the meeting.
Okay.
I'll be around early that morning if you want to set up then. But no, we have to go down to Chattanooga during the day.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I don't know that I can get in earlier, so we'll just
Okay.
plan to do it just ahead. And
Yeah.
I'll see if I can recruit some other folks to help out. Um, so Sylvia, Sanford, Stephanie, would any of you be willing to just take a couple photos? Um,
I will.
thank you.
Yeah,
That'd be
I can
great.
help with that too.
We can capture a little bit of the action would be super to have as to use later. Okay.
I just think who from us is here gonna listen anyways to the whole program. You can just help set it up and then tear it down. If you all help together, it's not gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna be really fast if everybody just helps together.
I'm sorry, Sylvia, I'm having a hard time
I
hearing
said,
you.
if all of us who are there that day and go anyways to listen to Aaron, if we can just all help set up the tables and the chairs and then afterwards just put it all back, that's just gonna be the fastest instead of one person trying to do in the beginning, one in the end. It's gonna take a long time for one person, but it's gonna be really fast if you all just work fast together
Yeah, yeah.
out there
Okay, thank
and
you.
remove it.
Okay.
What time are you getting in, Andrew?
I've got to check with Glenda when I can get in. Usually they'll give us whatever time we need, but sometimes they've got an event in the morning or something, and I don't know if that's the case that day or not. So I'll find out and I'll send a note to those of you that said you'll be here. And we can agree on a meet time, etc. Is that all
What
right?
usually, how much before do you, are usually an hour before to set it up?
I usually have if it's just me, I'll get there about an hour and a half ahead. But if it's a few of us, then we don't need that much time. It'll take maybe a half an hour to do that. You know?
I'm coming up for the day or for the afternoon. And we'll see what we can do to help. Not,
Okay.
no guarantees.
Hey, Susan, you know what? If you're there, one thing that's a little less physically involved, if you wouldn't mind sitting at the sales table beforehand, that would be good.
Yeah,
Take money from people.
right. I've got a helper. I have Andy. I have, got a time change. After,
Okay. No
so
worries. Just let me know
I'll
if you want to do.
help if I can.
Okay, okay, I got it. No worries. Okay. All right, so that's this Saturday. Anybody have any questions or things you think we need to talk about for Saturday?
I just for budget wise. Right.
I'm sorry?
Is there a speaker fee for Aaron?
Yeah, so what we started doing last year, for everybody's knowledge, is offering a $100 honorarium. And what we did was say, do you want this to go to your organization? Two of the folks last summer asked that it go just towards their organization versus them directly. I have not asked Aaron yet, so I will do that, Sylvia. We don't need to have it ready on Saturday necessarily anyhow, but I will find out. I need to check in with him on details anyhow. Okay. Thank you for mentioning that though.
I
Okay.
have extra budget for foods and all the rest. And
Um,
all good, all good.
okay. All right. Um, so our next event that we have this summer is the barn dance. And so to bring you up to speed, we've got, of course, the barn's been reserved a long time, for, and, we're on Friday. As you may recall, we set this date because July 4th is on Saturday. I've reserved food catering with the Slick Pig, which is in Murfreesboro. I've had their food once. I think maybe others have had their food other times. And one of the great things is, even though they're in Murfreesboro, they're going to deliver. For once, the last 3 years, I've been picking this stuff up and hauling it over there. So they are going to deliver. And I've also got two meats this time, because we had a lot of people saying, isn't there something other than pulled pork or whatever? So we've got both a beef and a pork option as far as the meats go, along with the typical slaw and beans and stuff. So hopefully that'll be well received. Flashdance is the band that many of you heard last fall, and if you were at the Hunter Bradley wedding, they played there. They're our band entertainment for the night. So they're all lined up. And Bean has agreed to, again, to do the hayride. So he'll secure the hay bales and take care of that for us. So those logistical items are in place. So what I have gone and purchased some more decorations. And I went to not one of my favorite stores, but I was able to get a lot of stuff, and that was Walmart, and picked up a bunch of red, white, and blue stuff. So we have all kinds of additional decorations, but if there's other things we think we ought to get, we can do that. And then everything else is about putting it together. So what I'd like to do is, if you can tell me now that you're going to be there and you can help with one of these things, that's great. If you don't know yet, then let me know when you do. I'm going to put out a plea at the Saturday event and maybe have a sign-up sheet like I did one time to say, ask who would be willing to help us, either with decorating or setting up the tables, or the tables are actually set up. It's about putting stuff on them, or cleanup. And we did get quite a few volunteers the last time I did that, so I'm hoping that's the case. But I'd like any of you that are going to be there to help in one way or another. Again, many hands make light work. The decorations go pretty quickly, and I think one of the things we agreed last year, and maybe that was in September, Sylvia, I think you and I were talking about this, but we're going to try to decorate a little earlier so that the people doing that can go kind of get cleaned up and then come back and enjoy the evening. Because I was having people come right beforehand, and then you've been running around decorating, and then all of a sudden it's time to join the party. So probably suggest we do that like maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and give a good hour and a half space for people to go back and forth. So that's what's involved there. Anybody have questions or thoughts about what happens with a barn dance? Sanford? Oh, I'm not hearing you. I think are you on mute?
Yeah.
It did.
Here you
Uh,
are.
can you unmute yourself, Sanford? I'm not.
And
You
I thought
did?
I did. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. What time does it start?
5:30 is the start time. And we put on I haven't created posters for that yet, but we typically say 5:30 to 8:30, just to give a sense of start and end, that people don't show up at 9 and think they're going to eat and everything else.
Yeah.
I backed off on the volume again this time, even though our summer one, we do get quite a few people. But even last year, when I had backed off some, we still had food left. So, and granted, it's nice to go donate that or whatever, but it's just a lot to deal with at the end. And we had tons left in the fall because our attendance was way down in September. But I expect we'll have a decent crowd, especially with July 4th on the weekend, for this. But I'm trying to be conservative about how much food we order. Yeah.
You can plug me in wherever you want, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
We need somebody to man the bar. It's not there, so the drinks. We
To
need
man the
somebody
bar, yes, we do. Yeah.
that's so on there. And I'm happy I can help early in the afternoon. I have my nephews here, so I'm watching them in the evening. But I can help with them. They're gonna help too with the setup and decorations.
Okay.
So we have extra help from an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old to do that.
Okay.
And then we had started talking about seeing if we can turn it into a
Yes.
fundraiser. So I think we should talk about that today because we really don't have just to cover our expenses. We're not looking for to make a lot of money, but the idea is as how we used to pay for it to get our expenses paid. And maybe also, I mean, if we get some more, we could put more next year against the Tate scholarship, right? So um,
Yeah.
we need to come up with how we want to do it, how much. We want to do a platinum, a gold, a silver level. Also, we also talked about maybe a photo booth, and there could be the names of them on it. So when people take photos at the photo booth with some hair ball and stuff,
Yeah.
so
So let's take one of those at a time. That's getting away from the fundraising piece. So to
that's part of it. So their names is on there. So when people take photos from the fundraisers, their names are on a little section on the photo booth. So people are, that's part of the fundraiser.
okay. So Sylvia and I had a long chat. Gosh, it's been a couple of months now, hasn't it, Sylvia? About where we stand in terms of our ability to kind of keep afloat. And if you all recall the budget conversation we had, those of you that were part of it, we basically have been pulling in almost the amount that we spend. Now, because of some things we said we wanted to do, where our expenditures are growing a bit, but also we don't have one of the contributors we had at one point having to defray expenses for the barn dance specifically, and the barn dance cost us between $3,000 and $4,000. And because it's free for everybody, it's a giveaway. So we've been talking about can we make it an event that also raises funds and be that just asking people if they'll help defray expenses, or like I think what you're to be clear, I think what you're saying, Sylvia, is people might, if they give a donation, they could do the photo booth thing or something like that. Or
No, just the name is, what I've seen about this, the past is that, so the sponsors anyways, we need to find sponsors soon, so they're gonna be then on, our, on the flyer we have, so their names, whoever is the sponsor need to be on the flyer, which is hanging everywhere, so people know that they're sponsoring. There should be a new website for that, because I think they want their name out. Most sponsors do. And on the photo booth, they're just, their logos or their names are gonna be just visible on it. There's gonna be the big logo of the Virtual Springs Historical Society, but in smaller, the sponsors. So whenever people
okay.
take out at the booth, the sponsors show up a little bit.
So you're talking about getting sponsorship money ahead of the event, not at the event. Oh, I wasn't
Ahead.
aware of that. Okay.
I would say ahead. And
Okay.
then there we could do, if you need some money, we can say, hey, we raised $4,000. Our expenses for the year are $10,000. $50 for a book, $20, $10 for a pencil. It goes against the Tate scholarship. I mean, you can do all different kinds of things then there, but not for long term, just for a short period. Say, hey, we were able to raise this is our goal, just to cover the expenses. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking we need to hone in on which of these things we might do as far as what it takes to do something the front end of it,
I would think
because
it
we've
as
got
well.
basically a month in front of us, as
Yeah.
opposed to something that happens at the event itself. So
So,
I'll tell
so I
you,
have a question.
yeah, Sanford.
So are we being charged $3,000 for the rental of it?
No, I'm saying everything together. It runs between three or four
Ah,
thousand. So we've got food, entertainment. I mean, we pay the guy that helps us with hay rides. All those things together come to about that.
okay.
Um,
And
Sometimes the entertainment is less cost. Sometimes it's more. It's a little more this time because it's this bands, any kind of the bands like that charge more on a holiday weekend. So it's just more money that comes out. Um,
What kind of music is the band? I haven't heard it.
oh,
Is
they
it?
do everything.
Yeah.
They do some line dancing stuff that's more country. They do pop. They do from Lady Gaga to
Mm.
you name it. Um, and they had the wedding party the other night doing everything from soup to nuts. It was pretty fun actually. 80s stuff, you name it. Um,
Okay.
so it's a wide variety.
Thought. I'm a little concerned about, see if this resonates with anybody else. I just want to pitch it out. This is a year in which we've cut down to one barn dance, right? We've eliminated fall, and I think there were good reasons for that, and we discussed it and decided that's what we were going to do. Um, I'm just trying, and I'm a fiscal pragmatist, and I would like to review the financial statements. I think we should review the financial statements to have a big picture of where we are with the organization. But having said that, I'm also concerned that in the year in which we've cut the second barn dance, now we're coming out and saying, help fund or pay for the barn dance. I mean, we're kind of part of our mission is to be kind of the fun. We build community, right? This is
Sure.
fun, and the barn
Yeah.
dance is one of our signature events. So I can't decide about sponsoring. I'd be okay if we sold T-shirts or something tangible that people decided to buy. But does that resonate with anybody else? Do we want to be changing our one barn dance into a sponsorship paid thing? I mean, we had some other ideas about raising money for this organization that were separate from the barn
Right.
dance. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if those are better than doing something around this very quickly.
Funding a dinner is a lot more than funding just a dance. The fact that we are feeding everyone and we don't know how many people are coming and we don't know, uh, you know, a lot of people don't come to eat, they just come and dance. Some of them do. I think it's I think if Howell is no longer um, subsidizing it, I think we should rethink the whole thing. Um, I just don't think it makes sense to be doing a dinner when you don't know how many people are going to show up. And we have all this waste. I've been there, done that a lot. Um, I think we should rethink this totally. I'm with Elizabeth to rethink it.
But
Yes,
perhaps not now since we've already announced it. I wonder if this is the
yes,
year where we roll with it, right? We have
yes,
a good old fashioned 4th of July thing that we sponsor, and we'll have to
yes,
do some fundraising later to make up for it. But maybe we don't want to be in the, hey, give us some money for this real quick, this
yes.
in 2026.
I agree. I'm with Elizabeth there.
How do you all feel about the kind of general pleas that I've snuck in a few times, which are not defray cost, but in so many words, but they are about the things we do cost money, right? I mean, does that go against the grain of your thinking at this point?
No, you did a really nice year-end appeal, which, these are not huge dollars, but as a percentage of what I think our total revenue is, you generated quite a nice little tidy sum with your year-end appeal, and I thought that was entirely appropriate. I mean, we're a
Okay.
nonprofit, every nonprofit does a year-end appeal. I thought that was great.
Okay.
And good on you. It's hard to pay now and wait till December for our year-end appeal. So I hear you. I think the other thing when we had the fundraising, I don't have those minutes right in front of me when we discussed that before, that we felt like grants were going to be our biggest bang for the buck. And you may have an update on that because your knowledge of the grant landscape is excellent.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we are on that, but that was the one that we thought was going to generate the largest dollars.
Well, and that was primarily if we had a project, which we still don't have the property business worked out. Um, so the only other one there's one that was not requiring a project, so to speak. Um, And so right now we don't really have one we're truly really eligible for. And
Okay.
I haven't gotten back to it to go searching anymore.
Yeah.
But that's where we were. Um,
Well, okay, I guess, have you guys already discussed it in way, way before my time? Is there any beer? Can you sell beer at barn dances? That's how most organizations make a lot of money. I mean, I'm not trying to be radical if this is a
yeah.
big no-no because it seems like it's never done. What is the history on that?
It's
I
complicated, Elizabeth. You've got to get a permit. You've got to
Hmm.
get insurance. It's very complicated.
Oh, you have to get insurance? Okay,
Yeah, you
well,
do.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
really?
And we might not
Alcohol
sell enough.
insurance.
We might
We
not
do
sell
it.
enough to this crowd to
Mm,
cover that.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
So the
experienced with that.
like the
Okay.
weddings there, they've had to do that. Is that what you're saying, Susan?
Yes, they should be getting insurance
They
Oh,
get
if they're
insurance to
selling
cover
alcohol.
the. I've had to study this for wine and wildflowers and get the rider for that. So there is
Hmm.
insurance
Yeah.
coverage.
Hmm. And it's
Usually,
more and more expensive.
usually the insurance wants you to have ABC certified
Yes,
servers,
they do. More and
Okay.
more.
okay.
and
More and
you
more.
know, so the wine and wildflowers has gotten around the permit by giving it away because you're paying for the event, not by drink. But if we
Okay.
went to go selling beer, then we're actually selling alcohol beverages, and you
Okay.
have to go through a beer permit process.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So that may not have legs. We've got t-shirts and books to sell, but those aren't, everybody's used to us or will be used to us to doing that.
What
Um,
what about a donation box or something? Um, or someplace where donations are welcome.
And I guess that's
I think that's a very good
that's
idea,
it's
uh,
quiet. It's not too
Stanford.
in your face.
yeah.
Hmm.
No, I
Right,
mean we
exactly. And I think people will be open if they're
mhm,
Yeah.
obviously receiving
that's
Hmm.
what I was
the
thinking.
benefits
Benefit.
of this wonderful
Hmm.
event. And
Hmm.
you're not gonna raise $3,000 probably, but you
Right.
may raise a
Hmm.
significant amount. And I don't
Hmm.
think people will have a problem with that. Certainly not the kind of people that come to this barn dance.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I've been
And
to it.
also, I'd like to point this out too, in terms of the beer, and this is a different issue. Andrew, I know you're trying to focus,
That's okay.
but
You're fine.
but getting more of the locals to come to this event is, in my view, sort of an integral part of trying to get the locals and the out of quote unquote out of towners more integrated and more receptive of each other's life, and I think that has enormous downstream benefits. If you serve alcohol at these events, they will not come, and that's just something
Maybe
we
why
should
it was never
accept.
done is exactly that then. You may have hit the nail on the head, Rand.
I think Howell would not have not wanted it. It was not something
Well,
Howell would have allowed.
right,
I
and
agree with
that
that.
has to do specifically with Howell's point of view. But what I'm saying is the majority of people in this community
Hmm.
that might want to come to this event are not drinkers, and they may not want to be associated with an event that serves alcohol. And of course, I'm speaking for a lot of people here that I shouldn't be speaking for, but that's just my general impression.
Well, and I think it's a non-starter then, because I agree with you 100%. We're trying to build community, and that means everybody, not just one group.
I know that people are coming. There's going to be all this food, music, and everything. And I know a lot of people. Uh, our land trust does host a big gathering with music and food and all that. And we have a place where people can make donations. And I know a lot of people that are having food, it's very easy for folks to drop in a $20 bill or something like that. And it's
Mm.
amazing how that can build up. And I don't think we've done that. We don't have to make a big deal about it. We could say that donations welcome and have some place there that most people will sort of channel through near where the food is, maybe, where they'll come by
Yeah.
and see.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's not like we're putting a sign out and say $5 hayride,
Yeah.
you know,
I would
a little
also
bit different.
say
Yeah, Aaron.
you might could pitch it at the upcoming meeting that we would like people to help support.
That's true.
What's the
That's
easy, what's the easiest way for people to donate? I mean, we have to make it easier than mailing in a check, right?
I'm working on a QR code. I have to go
Yeah.
to the bank. I was trying to set it up, but it doesn't go by email, it's just the phone number. So I need to go to the bank and get some help there.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. If there's a QR code with something on a flyer that we pass out or up at the back of the room, and just say, hey, we do this because we love the community, but if you can, please do. Because the barn dance is a difficult time to communicate that to people.
Yes, it's very, very hard then.
I think that's right, but as Sanford said, it's nothing like walking up to that door and seeing the barn dance in process or all the people together and having a box there for donations.
Oh, I
I
agree
think
completely.
people are much likely to reach into their wallets or their purses and pull out and put something in the box and do both things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the QR code is a good idea,
Yeah.
as two, but both of those, and why don't we just experiment this year and see how that works?
You could have with the box, and the box could be a QR code, so some people don't carry cash to the barn necessarily.
Right.
So, but you have the phone and the QR code itself, so there's no cost attached, no expense attached, neither for who gives or us. There's no fee, which is important.
Do we have a Venmo address we could put on there too? I'm just thinking a lot of my contemporaries don't carry cash. Do we have Venmo?
We don't have anything set up at this point.
Well,
I've been
And it's
talking with the website designer about this and excuse me, about how we might, because we're going to have e-commerce on the website, right? Where you
Mhm.
can buy things, where you can donate, where you can join, pay membership, whatever it is.
Right.
So we'll have to, and I wanted to get Sylvia and I talked just a tad about this, I think, Sylvia, but do we go with PayPal? Do we go with, is it Venmo or what works best? The web designer had a couple suggestions on that, but we'll need to figure that out because that has to have a back end to it, right?
Right,
Um,
and there's a fee, like PayPal has I think 4% or something on PayPal. So most have a fee attached.
yeah,
My experience on this is Square is easiest when it comes to selling items because all the transactions have reports on them. Whereas Venmo, you just kind of have a list of who gave what, but you don't have any kind of merchandise inventory management or anything like that. You just know that you made a chunk of money. And people can donate through Square also. It's just really, really intuitive to set up. And
I'm
now
gonna have
most
to drop
phones, you just
out.
tap your
Sorry,
phone.
guys. I'm gonna
okay,
have to
thank you,
drop out.
Susan. We'll talk
Okay.
later.
Bye, Susan.
But Aaron, do we
Susan.
need the Square readers in order to do it though?
No, now you need an iPhone 10 or newer, and you can just tap a card to the phone, or you can manually input the number.
Interesting. So we need people with Square on their phone standing by the donation though, in that model, right?
In that model, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you could, yes, in that model, you would need that. I think you could probably, yeah, I've never ran a like back end campaign on it. It's always just gone through bank transactions. So I'm not sure. I think I think the QR code that Sylvia is setting up would still work for that.
QR would be great. Venmo, we could have a personal Venmo. It's not great from a financial reporting, kind of being disciplined, but for now we're pretty loose on the financial stuff. So somebody could just accept Venmo in their own Venmo account and then turn around and write a check to the Historical Society if we think Venmo will help and people don't want to scan the QR code. Sometimes that's, down in Nashville, we hear a lot of complaints about the QR codes in the parking lots. People are just, I don't know why. It's not that bad, but a lot of people think it's just a hassle. Venmo's pretty easy. So, Sylvia, do you have a Venmo account?
No, and I'm not setting one up either, so you would lose me right there.
Okay.
I was directly out of cell. And
I mean, I've got one. I guess we could use my Venmo. Again, please don't, I promise to be very, I don't like taking money in from an organization, then writing a check, but we could do that for now because we don't have an organizational Venmo, an easy way to donate like that. So for this July 3rd thing, we could do that. We could just put on there the Venmo address and have them say barn dance donation on their Venmo.
But then I don't think we should do the QR code. I think it's getting too much. There are too many different things. If you do a QR code, a Venmo, a cash, I think we just need to stay with cash and one thing. I really don't care what it is. But we shouldn't do like 5 different options. Or maybe I'm wrong. It's just
Well, what do we think people would use the easiest? What would be the easiest?
cash.
Venmo is
Cash.
But we should have
Venmo is
one alternative.
Venmo's pretty easy.
Venmo is really easy. I
Venmo's
do a lot of
real
rentals
easy.
off Venmo. One problem I've had with Venmo is if it if they do not indicated that it's a reimbursement or something like that, there might be a 3% surcharge. And you kind of got to be careful of that because all of a sudden somebody says, I sent you $20, but you only received 97% of that. And trying to backtrack it and figure out what the discrepancy is, it takes a little work, but finally you find out that, yeah, Venmo took 3%.
They don't do
So
that for individuals, though, do they, Rand?
what?
They don't do that, I don't think, for individual trend, right?
They don't, but if they think you're selling something,
Mm.
they because of the way that the payer has the buttons that they've clicked, like
Yeah.
what does this represent? And if
Hmm.
they say, well, I bought merchandise or something like that, they'll just automatically charge 3%. So I do encourage my tenants to say it's a reimbursement or it's rent. And actually they'll put on, sometimes it's like purpose and they'll put in rent payment and it just flies. There's no 3% surcharge, but occasionally I've run into problems with that. But all in all, I found Venmo or PayPal, and of course PayPal owns Venmo. I've found it to be a really, really clean way of being paid. There is like a approximately 3-day delay. Could be even longer than that, but not much longer than that. So it's not an immediate transfer like it would be with Zelle, which is another option, but that's one's more complicated because you have to deal with banking account numbers. But
Right.
with but with Venmo, all you need is a Venmo address, which is at Birchwood Springs Historic Society, period. You
So
know,
what we
and,
said,
and if they send it to that address, then you'll see the money appear in your account once your account is set up under that name.
I think we're going to want it for the website because it is used so widely. I think it wouldn't hurt us to have a Venmo address for website donations.
Right, and it is a two-step process. Like Zelle is a direct deposit, and Venmo, they will deposit it into your quote unquote Zelle, I mean, quote unquote Venmo account,
Right.
and from there you transfer it into your personal banking or your banking account for the
Yeah.
for the historic society.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I may recommend for the long term, we want to keep looking at this and I'll go back to the web designer, see what she's recommending for the web, which she has set up e-commerce with before. I think Venmo and PayPal are the two, but I can't remember exactly. And as you're saying, Rand, it's sort of the same thing, I guess. And for the immediate term, I personally think if we could have the QR code available, it would be great. Um, but if not, we could say, see so and so by the donation box if you wish to donate without cash tonight or something. Um, I don't know of a better solution for the short term from what I'm hearing here. Um, does that sound workable to you guys?
Yeah, I think there should be a donation box at the very minimum,
Yeah, I'm
and then
happy to
maybe
get that
these other
created.
options as well. I guess if you drop cash in a box, you're not going to get a tax deduction, but in a lot of cases, people don't, itemize anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, for the amount they're probably going to donate on the spot is not going to be significant
Yeah,
to
it's
them.
like if they're
Yeah.
generous, they'll give you $20.
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
Which is great.
If which is great. It's
That's
$20 more than what you had before they walked through the
that's
gate.
exactly right. Yes,
Hmm.
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. Okay, well, I've made a note. I'm happy to create the box and we'll look at some signage for that, et cetera. And but I agree this Saturday with the announcements and things, I'm happy to slip it in, or unless somebody else wants to about, we're trying to we're gonna accept any kind of support, financial support anyone is willing to help us with to do these things. Okay. Anything else on the barn dance? Questions, thoughts?
So we have a table there for the barn dance. The t-shirts will be ready by then. So we have a table there to sell.
Oh, we
Somebody's
can. They will be ready? Is that what you're saying? Or
t-shirts, yeah. Will be
oh,
ready.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we can. We'll need somebody
Also
to
for
man
postcards,
that table. Sorry.
and also for postcards. I mean, we could have something in the beginning for like the first half hour, so I don't think we need something like, especially if you do your speech, a welcome speech, and say like, okay, and we have a table back there. If somebody's interested in t-shirts, you can have them for a while. We don't need the t-shirts, everything out for the entire time, I think.
Okay.
Nobody
Um,
ever wants to ban it.
do we need a photo booth, or could we do a wall like, celebrity red carpet wall kind of
Yeah.
thing? That's almost easier to produce.
I know I was talking about a table for a t-shirt sale
I understand. Yeah, but you would keep mentioning the photo booth
earlier.
thing.
Yes, I thought people like to take photos and it's such a pretty venue. So we
Right.
can have like an area where we have a nice Birch Historic Society.
So would a selfie wall
Yes,
work? Okay,
something
there we go. That's the idea I was trying to
like that.
picture. Okay. Okay, I'm putting that note down and
I'm happy
Hey,
to man a t-shirt sales table if you want me to. I guess we're going to need a payment method though. That's kind of this discussion we were just having.
exactly. Yeah. So if we do that, do we do we have somebody's Venmo account working?
What about the sales tax? Oh, that's moving. Is there some sales
Will
tax
you
or
move closer to to your computer? It's hard to hear
Yeah,
you.
it's really hard to hear you, Sylvia. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
And
is there a sales tax?
yes,
Oh,
we do
yes,
have to collect sales tax on retail sales.
we do. Yes, we do in the market. So we'll have to, that'll be part of what we built it into the price basically. But yeah,
Is that right? Even though we're a nonprofit?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, we still pay Tennessee state
we do.
tax.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Okay, thanks.
the 9 1/4. So, and it's weird with the books. I think I've told you all that what we print through Amazon, we already pay the sales tax to them. So the things we sell in the market, the museum, for the market, we have an uptick. Um, uh, excuse me, we give the market basically 10% commission on everything they sell for us. And we've built in an additional, the 9 1/4 additional for the 4 or 5 things that that aren't produced through Amazon. So that we cover that as well with them.
Getting back to the photo booth, one thing, if you've been to the Harpeth River Watershed event every year, one of the really fun things they do is they provide props for people, like groups of people that want to have, that are there at the barn dance together, or a family. And they have all these props. They have hats and fishing poles, and it's
Oh, for
really,
for the selfies and that kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. And it's a lot of fun. And it really, I think, attracts a lot of people to go and have their picture taken that normally might not want to have their picture taken.
yeah.
And we'd have to dive into our clothes checks and paraphernalia chests to come up with stuff. But I'd be happy to help with that if that was sounded like a good idea.
I think it's great. Yeah. It could be on the 4th of July theme or something else. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
crazy
yeah, it
hats for
could,
that.
yeah, exactly, exactly. We could have coonskin hat and whatever,
Dark chocolate,
three-corner
hot
hat.
chocolate.
Those Uncle Sam hats, maybe.
That'd
No,
be
that's great,
great.
Brad. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it makes it fun. Okay, great ideas. Okay. All right, I'm going to move us on. Um, so July 4th, as you know, we have a Worship of Springs parade. There's fireworks that evening. Everything's on the same day this year because of July 4th being on a Saturday. The idea came up about us having a float or entry in the parade. And so what I wanted to do is bring that to you all and see, is that a good idea? Is it something that we're interested in doing? Is that something we're interested in doing this year? And then go from there if so. So I know Sylvia and I have talked about this. That would be a cool thing, but anybody else have any, what are your thoughts about having an entry? And I guess the main reason would be visibility, right? And joining the community in this thing that's a real community thing. As you know, there's horses to four-wheelers um, a few politicians and lots of rescue squad engines, etc.
Well,
In our parade. Brand?
I have trailers. I have an assortment of different trailers from, you know, 10 feet to 14 feet to
Oh,
20
really?
feet.
Ah,
Yeah, so a good trailer you can do a lot on.
yeah, yeah.
So I can at least contribute the trailer as well as the tractor. But
Wow.
sounds like there's already a tractor available that's used for the barn dances.
I,
So
you know, I have to admit total ignorance. I don't know whose that is. I think it's the Adams, but
It's
I think so.
it's Howell's tractor.
is it Howell's? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, if that one's not available, I've got a tractor, so certainly we could handle the mechanics of it. And this is tongue in cheek, but I've always envisioned having a float in the parade called the Out of Towners,
Ah,
and the people on the float have to be dressed in green pants and white patent leather shoes and a yellow tie and a green shirt. And instead of throwing beads, they throw golf balls.
golf balls. Well, I'm not sure that that's us, but hey, sounds interesting. Well, one of the
Oh, and
reasons,
Nice visual.
the other thing I was going to have, one of those putt-putt courses you do where you
yeah,
put the ball and it goes around like this and it spits it out. Well, we would put the golf ball and would spit it out to the side of the trailer, and then the kids would grab the ball.
I'm sure the kids would love that. Well, I'll leave that one to you.
No, no, I'm not volunteering for any of that.
Excuse me. Um, so anyhow, I was just thinking a pickup truck myself. I do have a part of what we wanted to do is to have some banners available, and so I had two made that are our logo in roughly 4 by 4 foot size. So it's really big. So it's an easy thing to throw on the side of a truck or a trailer if we were to do that as far as this goes, or go just totally hog wild with the Independence Day idea. So thoughts? Like the idea, hate the idea, don't think it's good now or whatever. Anybody?
A lot of the floats that go in the parade seem to be manned by children. Children love being part of the parade. It's great.
Yep. Yep.
We don't have many children amongst us.
It is
We
true.
could act like it.
Yeah. So part of me is who's going to be on this float enjoying the parade, right? And so, and I've seen people that are involved with the historical society participate in the parade before in a golf cart, or I
Yep.
think last year Louis' grandchildren decorated up his truck and had a blast with it.
Yep.
But so I just that's a missing piece is who are we wanting to have on this float throwing
Well, it
candy?
wouldn't.
Are you our marshal?
We're a different organization than most of the others that participate as far as that angle to it. So
I
yeah, it would be
understand.
different. Elizabeth, I think you're on mute. I'm not hearing you.
Sorry, is there a way to do this without having all the manpower of creating a float? Like, hear me out. Could we put our banner, since you've already got the banner, we find somebody who's already doing a float and it's like candy provided by the Berkshire
Hmm.
Springs Historical Society. So the banner's on somebody else's thing and we buy the candy that gets thrown. We don't really have to make a float, drive a float, sit on a float. To Aaron's point, I mean, when we've done it in the past, it's been our son and his friends, and it's really cute, but
Yeah, yeah,
they've aged out, and
yeah.
it'd be nice to do this in a less labor intensive way. But I really like what you're saying, which is exposure for the organization and participation in a big community event. Those things both sound good and they fit
Yeah.
what I think we're trying to do. So I like it. Do you think there's anybody that might want us to underwrite their candy and let us put their banner on it,
I
on
don't
their
know.
thing?
We could definitely help out the fire squad because they have many vehicles and they all throw something. That'd
Mm-hmm.
be one option.
But will anybody see the banner? You're not gonna say, this was paid by the Russian Historical Society, you know?
Well,
Well, we'd put our banners on the side of something else that someone's already doing.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what other organizations, but that's one I think of automatically, Elizabeth.
Mm.
For this year, I think that makes sense to kind of piggyback on someone else's vehicle and provide the candy. We have a month and we have a barn dance to put on the day before, so it's a lot of coordination.
Right. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to do something pretty, interesting the next year. Something that really grabs attention and what that is, I don't know right now, but I think that would be cool to really help people draw people's eyes to us and bring attention to who we are. That yeah, so that's
Now,
my thought.
I'll throw out an option. Thank you, Stephanie. That makes perfect sense. Um, I just tonight came from a meeting of a group that I was going to tell you more about later that's been in play for a bit. And there's going to be a float that they're doing that has to do with what Bershom was putting together, and we're one of those events celebrating America's 250th. And so they're going to literally have a wagon that's horse-drawn. And I'm helping them get a banner that's going to advertise both our July 8th event as well as what they're doing in August. And it could be that we could get our banner on the back side of it or something like that to go along with them, because in a way we are co-sponsors of some of these things that are going on. So to your point, Elizabeth, that might work out, and we support by giving them candy that they throw. I don't know where they're getting the kids from, but they're going to have a variety of people on their wagon. So that's an option. And maybe, Stephanie, to your point, if we want to do our own thing in the future, we give ourselves some more lead time, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's some planning to
Yes.
really
Yeah.
just
Yeah. If you're going to do a lot of decorating, some of you may know there's some that go through that barely have a string of red, white, and blue on them. It's soup
right.
to nuts, but not that that's a good thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
happy to buy a big bag at Costco. I don't care what we want, candy, and bring it up with me. Maybe if we all, I know Sylvia, you said David's running down to Costco too. Maybe if we just grab some big bags of candy
yeah.
and then they can be taken over to that wagon.
And on my Walmart venture, I bought, because they were so cheap, I bought tons of red, white, and blue beads,
Mm,
like
Oh,
Mardi Gras strings of
mm,
beads. So those could be thrown as
mm,
well.
Yeah. I like that idea.
mhm.
Okay. So there's some
And
options with that.
I also have a huge bag of Mardi Gras beads.
Do you?
Yeah, which I've been dying to find a home for.
Maybe
I
in the
think
future we do a Mardi Gras barn dance, huh?
There you go. There you go. Good
I
idea.
think that's better than candy because everybody throws candies. And
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
so many candies. I mean, they get bags full.
Yeah,
It's
you
just,
can throw apples.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but really, there are so many candies. It's just crazy
Nuts.
what you get.
Golf
Okay.
balls.
Sure.
so do
So
we have enough beads then? We don't need to all get a bag of red, white, and blue beads, or we've got beads from Rand and
there's
from
I
your stash.
Yeah, I think my bag would probably do the whole procession, whatever we'd need. I mean, it's a huge tote bag of beads.
So between yours and the red, white, and blue ones I bought, we're
Okay.
probably good on that.
Right, right.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is y'all are okay with this idea of joining up with the city on their wagon. See if we can get our banner on it in addition. And I'm going to share with you in just a second. I think I have a picture of it. I'm helping them to develop. I designed a banner today, just after this meeting, that we're going to get produced that will advertise two of our events, and I'll show you that in just a second. So if that's on there and we get our logo on there, perhaps on the back, that banner, and then we support them by giving beads and candy. Yeah.
Are we doing candy too or just beads?
Um, we don't have to do both, but we can see. Why not offer the beads and we'll see what else is needed. Is that okay? See where it goes from there. Because I don't know what all they're going to throw. Okay, so no float for us alone this year, but we might consider it in future. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so on the July Independence Day theme, per our emails back and forth, all the responses I got were very positive of doing this event versus another program this summer. So we're doing two regular programs and then this night where we celebrate the reading of the Declaration of Independence. It's happening world or nationwide across all 50 states at the same time. So I've talked to Letice King, and we're kind of brainstorming this together because we want to make sure it really pulls out the community folks across, residents, full-timers and non-full-timers, et cetera. So the timing is 5 o'clock. That's happening across the states, Central Time. And so the thought is to have the gathering start at 4:30. We'll have food, refreshments of some kind. I'm going to work with her on how we work that. And then we had the reading, and then we're going to supply copies of the Declaration kind of on a parchment roll. And so I'll tell you more about that later. So if you have thoughts about people you think would be good readers, what most places are doing is they're breaking up the Declaration into bits and having multiple readers. So we might have three, maybe four readers, and perhaps we have a child and we have a teenager and an older person, just kind of mix it up. And I'd really love for some of our more local residents to do this, and whoever's comfortable. Some will not be comfortable on stage in front of people, but some will. And so that we get them involved. Could be other things that are added to this. I put the note about maybe there's honorary guests. I don't know who that would be for Beersheba necessarily. I think it'd be great if our commissioners are there. I'm going to talk to them about that. Some people like Jackie Eubanks, et cetera, to help kind of be hosts for the evening. So that's the event, and this is the one event that's going to be on the banner on the July 4th parade float that the city is doing. And then the second one is their event, which is August 22nd. And I've told some of you about this, but I got brought into this very late in the deal. But what has happened is for America 250, there's a fund that was put together back in 2016 when they first came up with the committee to look at what do we want to do to celebrate the 250th anniversary in 2026. There was a total of $150 million that was designated toward this because our current president decided he was going to do his own thing, which you might have heard of is called Freedom 250. 100 million of that got siphoned over there. So 50 million were left for the national events to celebrate history. Only 25 of that has actually been paid out to America 250 so far. But bottom line, what I'm trying to get to is the monies then have been trickled down to the states and counties, et cetera. So Iva Michelle with the South Cumberland Tourism applied for one of the grants. She got $25,000 grant that she has now apportioned to 9 cities in the county. We're one of them, to do special celebrations in our own towns. So we've got a little bit of money from that's going to go towards this event. And what they are doing is each of these towns is identifying up to 10 people of our past who were considered patriots or pioneers. In other words, they helped build the town or they had significant contribution because of their work towards, really building the community, et cetera. So I've worked with Jean Garrett and Leticia King on this. We've identified, we're going to do, I think, 9 right now. It might end up being 8. We're trying to work it out. But what everybody is doing is they're having a day where they have these characters from our past in costume who represent these individuals and tell in words that we're scripting what their contribution was to the town. So we have 9 individuals chosen. So far, I think we've got almost all the characters assigned. And today was about a little bit about costuming, and we're going to start writing scripts, etc. This is happening on August 22nd here, which is the Crafts Fair weekend, that Saturday. And so on that Saturday at 6 o'clock is what they just decided today. There's going to be a presentation that these characters will come out in costume and they'll say, "Hey, I'm Martha Armfield, and my husband did X and was X and worked with these people, etc." Lucy Virginia French is in there. A number of other characters. It's going to end with Leonard Tate as the final person going from early times to more recent times. So I'm telling you all this because a part of what we're trying to do cooperatively is help advertise each other's stuff. So they're going to help us get this July 8th thing working well and advertised. And that's why we're going to do the banner that includes this. And then I'm going to ask when we come to talk about our annual meeting that we schedule our annual meeting just ahead of that so we can encourage people to go from that at the Papels over to the assembly for this series of presentations, which is probably just going to be 35 to 40 minutes at the most. It'll be on the steps of the front of the hotel, where that's taking place. So that's a lot I've just thrown at you. But bottom line, we're trying to be cooperative about celebrating America's 250th and make it more than just July 4th parade for the community. Yeah. Let me just stop there and take a breath and ask, does that make sense? Questions, comments? Okay. So that's the group that's doing a float or a wagon in the parade. And that I think we can team up with on this for this year. Yeah. So, okay. So any questions about this event, the declaration event reading? And just if that wasn't clear, July 8th is when the actual public sharing of the Declaration of Independence occurred. It was crafted earlier and it was codified on the 4th, and it was actually started to be printed on the 5th in some instances, but it wasn't really shared with the public until July 8th, and that's why that date has significance. Yeah.
So we have the venue rental then for the community center in July.
Say again?
We have the venue rental in July.
The venue is community center. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, so you rent that one. We do that, right?
Yeah, well, we've got monies that are covering all these things from that grant, so I'm gonna make sure we don't pay for it. But I'm gonna take care of it to start with, but I'll ask for compensation.
Share with me how much a grant is. So if you want to share with me how much a grant is, so I can put it on our budget forecast.
Well, we're not getting monies directly to us. I'm just going to be able to expense the things related to this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at time, how we doing? We're about out. So I'm going to stop with going through details, but just to look forward. So in July, we've got Eugene Ham coming to speak on the Dahlgren Mystique. And this is at Grace Chapel. And we'll have the same things involved as far as setup and all that kind of stuff, and we can talk about who's available to do what later. I did speak with Kinsley King, our scholarship winner. She was not able to come this Saturday for us to recognize her, but she can come July 25th. So we'll introduce her then, and then have a reception that helps honor her and celebrate her on that date. Yeah. She's a lovely young lady. I really have enjoyed getting to meet her, and I think you all will too. I put a photo in the email yesterday of her. She's really cute too, and so we've had a good time getting to meet.
I
Yeah.
wonder what about asking her to be one of the readers for the Declaration?
That would be fantastic. Yeah,
Because we
that's a
need
great idea.
some young local
Yes.
people. If
Yeah.
she's going to be a reader, it's going to bring all of her parents and family in.
Yeah. Okay. I'm writing that down. Thank you. It's a great idea. Okay. So that's July 25. And I'll get some flyers made for that a little bit later. I need to do the barn dance one first so we get that started to advertise. Our annual meeting, as we usually do. Rand, does this look familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to explain about these photos in just a minute. Um, is our annual meeting. We've been doing it on the Saturday of the crafts fair. As we just talked about, if this other event's at 6, I want to make sure we do ours in a way that people can move from one to the other if they want to do so. So I'm thinking 4 or 4:30. We usually don't, I try to keep the annual meeting business fairly short, so it's a social time more than anything else, but we need a little bit of time. So what do y'all think about 4:30 for the annual meeting?
You know, the fire squad has usually something going on. Isn't it that weekend when the fire squad, the rescue squad also does something like a fundraiser? Isn't that
A fundraiser? I don't know.
usually where they just show what they do?
I think they get funds from the crafts fair, is my understanding,
Oh,
but I
that's
don't
not
know
what
that
I
there's.
mean. I believe it before at Betty's house.
Oh,
Uh,
well, that was a one-time thing.
that was a one-time thing.
Yeah, yeah. Now on July 4th, they do something after the parade. I can't remember how that all works, but yeah.
I think
Okay.
4:30 sounds great.
Sorry,
I think 4:30 sounds great.
4:30. Okay, thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that gives us, enough time to do the meeting, plenty of some social time, and then if people want to head over to the assembly, they can do that for the 6 o'clock thing. And just a reminder that we bring in the new class and we say goodbye to the 3 folks in the latest class from the board. So we'll need to start thinking about who we want to consider. I will share with you the list of people we spoke of before, in case there are any of those we want to rethink on. And we'll need to get our nominations going and ask some folks as we get closer to the time. Yeah. So these images you've been seeing here tonight are paintings of Beersheba sites. And this is Rand's cabin, right? This is Bill Sutton. William Sutton is his name. He's a painter. And when I was looking at options for postcards, I stumbled across his site and he does some really interesting work. And he had a whole section on Beersheba Springs. And I haven't really still got quite a clear story of how he found out about Beersheba Springs, but he took an interest and maybe ran. I don't know. Did you ever meet Bill?
Yeah, we arranged it. This was back prior
Oh,
to the weekend or the just the months before COVID that
okay.
winter. Bill came up along with a uh, a photographer friend of mine,
Uh-huh.
and we went around and did these various shots, both with cameras and then with Bill. And the idea was to auction the photos and the paintings off at the next July 4th meeting. Of course, that was COVID,
Yeah.
so it kind of ruined the whole concept. However, some of the paintings were were sold, and Bill was gracious enough to do all these paintings. And there is one of the market itself, the Beersheba Market,
Oh, is there? I didn't see that
uh,
one.
with uh, Bud Whitman's brother, his green truck, which a lot of people are familiar with out front.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Bill was really generous with his work, and but that's the story.
Okay. Well, thank you for filling in because I got a little bit of something from him on that. I figured he knew you because he said, uh, I asked him about using images because we were creating some postcards and I loved especially Greeter Falls and the Big Red Barn and stuff. And he said, well, you probably have to ask Rand if he wants his cabin on a postcard. But he's been very gracious. He said, I'll give you these JPEG files and you can use them as you like with no charge. Just give me credit. He's a really lovely guy.
Yeah.
So we have created, I know the executive committee agreed, and I think we all mentioned a little bit last time that we agreed to try some new postcards, see how they do. So I did get the Greeter Falls. Let's go back here. The Greeter Falls image and the Big Red Barn on postcards, and they are for sale in the market now. And then we also talked about Audra has felt that a lot of people really like the old photos as postcards too. So I've done one with the front of the hotel. I don't have it here. You might have seen it where it's got all the old cars lined up in front and people are dressed in nice clothing, etc. So I've done that one, and I tried another of 10 pin, the showing the bowling alley, the old one, but it's so grainy, it did not come out real well, but we'll see if there's any interest. So those will be out there too, and we'll just see how the postcards do. According to Audra, those old ones we had that are so faded and blah, 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 sold. Every one of them sold that I put out there. So, and if they like those, they should really like something a little newer. So,
Well, in a side note to Bill,
yeah.
he's actually an architect out of Baltimore,
Oh, is he?
but
Oh,
he has an amazing talent of painting, obviously,
yeah.
and he's been hired by the National Park Service to go around to some of the more famous Civil War sites and paint the actual sites of the battle, but paint them as they appear now,
Oh,
not as they appeared then. And he's done some wonderful work.
cool. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I was looking at his site and there's quite a variation in his themes of
Yeah,
some
yeah.
marine scenes with boats and stuff and other things. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I really have appreciated his sharing his work. And we'll see how they do in terms of postcards. So with that, I'm going to leave I had some other updates, but I'll just send a note with those for you all. Just general updates of information. Any remaining or final thoughts or questions before we say goodnight? Okay. I was thinking John was going to attend, but I haven't heard back from him, so perhaps he's traveling at the
I
moment.
got I got a message from him saying that he was dealing with his dad, helping with his dad, so he couldn't
Oh, is
make
that
it.
right? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I saw Howell here a few days ago, I think. He was around, but he went back to Atlanta before I caught up with him again. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate your thoughts and decision making tonight. And I'll send the slides along and we'll send the minutes when they're ready. And I'll give you the recording link. Not that any of you all need it, but for Susan and John. And then we'll journey on. Okay.
Thanks, Andrew.
Good.
All
Good
right.
night, guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, answer.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Good night.
Bye.